My whole bloodline is karmic. Now that I have been on this spirit journey, the soul searching one, I realized they were never for me. They were more for the lessons I had to learn in this lifetime I had to earn. This knowledge and wisdom I've accumulated, that the real authentic me could never be duplicated. This family that I was born into and that I birthed were only for this lifetime while I'm here on this earth. But after this, it won't be no more. This is not necessarily about keeping score, but knowing that I didn't deserve the hand I was dealt, but I still protected and served what I was dealt. I tried to make the best of it, you see, realizing that none of these people ever deserved a being like me, but I was assigned. The Divine One made sure I was to go through what was aligned for me, knowing that I was spiritually strong, but in the flesh, these people on this earth is just morally wrong. No soul, no consciousness, used to this earth's demand and swear they are blessed. Blessed with what? Ego, pride, greed, lust. Giving in to its lower vibrational energies is all I see. I know what my mission is, and it is to be free. Free of this heartache, pain, and suffering. I don't have to go through that no more. I've accepted whose side I'm on, and that's why I have so much in store. I cut and sever all ties that are connected to me. The art of detachment allows me to be only tied to the divine because that's loving energy. Always is on my side, keeping me protected and healed. I don't no longer desire to feel attached to anyone because to me, all this was for fun while it lasted. Now, all I do on a regular basis is be fasting, letting go and letting God. I only approve of the Divine One's nod. And guess what? I'm not even religious, but I'm definitely spiritual. The things that I've witnessed from the divine shows everything, including miracles. So this is why it's so easy for me to detach from any and everyone I don't need to be. With him, her, them, and you, I ain't got to lie to you. I will always speak my truth. If you ain't on my frequency, I won't hesitate to mention that I definitely don't need you or anyone to continue on this ascension. So, yeah, like I said before, first of all, it's me, Lady V, and this creative work was inspired by my spiritual journey that I've been on for a while. And it has taught me so much. I've learned so much, just being in solitude, being by myself. Now, remember, I am the only child, and so I'm used to being alone. At one point, I wanted to be around people. I wanted to be liked. I wanted to be accepted. I wanted to be in the, here and now and just be amongst people. But after finding out that my light irritate people's demons, I've learned to pretty much enjoy my own company. So I'd rather be alone. It is a choice. I'm not lonely or any of those things. I've gotten past the lonely stage because I was coming from a hurt people standpoint. But now that I'm not a hurt person and I see things through the third eye on how others are and how they're hurt, and I was just pretty much trauma bonding with people, trying to connect through traumatic experiences. A lot of people might not have explained their traumas to me, but they've been hurt because that's part of living on this planet. We all came here to suffer in some form or fashion, spiritually, mentally, physically, emotionally, financially, romantically, and sexually. Those are seven aspects of why we are here on this planet, to learn and balance these things out. And so We all have been hurt. We all have been betrayed. We all have been done wrong. We all have had some horrible stuff that, whether we talk about it, whether we healed through it, whether we let it be known. But the main thing is that people don't like to be vulnerable. And I do see why, because, people use your vulnerabilities against you. And so I've learned to pretty much stay to myself and just connect with source. You know, um, I do a lot of praying. I do a lot of meditating. I do a lot of scripting. I do a lot of things that are creative for me, things that I like. I like to be out in nature, and I just like my alone time. Where I used to always want to be on the phone and talk and yap. I don't even like my phone to ring. Okay, somebody's calling me. I have my phone on do not disturb. So if you're not going to text me, because that's going to be the fastest way you're going to get any type of response from me, then you won't be hearing from me, because I'm not going to call nobody. I don't really have the desire to do so. I don't really feel like talking to people. And so the only reason why I'm talking on this podcast is because this is spirit led. God has gotten me prepared since the beginning of my journey to pretty much tell my story. That was always pumped into me. Tell people what's going on with you. Tell people what you've been through. Tell people how I've come into your life and helped heal you, and, how I showed you the way. Because when I first started my journey, I asked for the truth. I had a very strong betrayal by my daughter's dad that left me to the point where I'm like, I can't do this no more. I can't take this type of hurt and pain for no reason. I can't do this. So I need you to show me the truth about my life. Stop having me go through all these type of experiences with people that I end up caring about or loving or liking or having some type of compassion for, and they just give me their asses to kiss. I'm not finna do this no more. So after I had that conversation, that come to God moment, I was shown so many things. And so ever since then, that's the journey I've been on. And it's been 10 years. The 10 years went by so fast, okay? And it's going to be 10 more years. It's going to be till eternity until I'm off this fucking planet. So there you have it. But what I did learn, God had to break me down, take me all the way back, okay? Some people go back to their past lives, like the life they had before they were in this life. Some people have that ability to do that. I've had those moments as well, but we're not going to talk about it here. Um, but I had to go back to my childhood and go back to the very first time I was hurt or betrayed or felt, inadequate or whatever. And God pretty much, showed me from that point on what happened, um, what the lesson was at the time. Because when we go through these things at the moment, we don't know what the hell going on. All we know is what we're feeling at the moment that we're going through it. You later in life, however long later in life is, you figure it out. You go back to that moment and realize, recognize, and analyze. Oh, that's why this, that, and the third happened, or this why this was done to me, or this why such and such said or looked at me a certain kind of way, or whatever. A lot of people close that path off because their trauma is making them not want to go back to the root of the problems. Instead, it's embedded into their DNA, it's embedded into their hair, their organs, their heart, their lungs, and then they wonder why they have cardiac issues and stomach issues and liver issues. People not detox, but they intoxicate themselves with substances and alcohol and all this stuff to drown out all their hurt and pain. And then they become a big replica of what the hell they've been through. So they go and they repeat the same shit over and over again with different people and different folks. And subconsciously, they are reliving what they've been through and inflicting it on other people. And this is why the world is so fucked up and people fucked up. So I had to say, I'm not doing that. You know what I'm saying? Even though, yes, it could have hardened my heart, the things that I went through, the experiences that I had, but I chose not to let that happen. I chose to heal So I surrendered to God, because all through the Bible, even though I'm not a Christian, I am spiritual. But all through the Bible, okay, because I was Christian first, so I do know the Bible. Um, it tells you to come to God in spirit, not Holy Spirit, not the Holy Ghost, but in spirit. So therefore, you have to step out of your flesh. And when I say out of your flesh, okay, you already know you're a spirit in the flesh. So you have to outlook. You got to look outwards and upwards from the flesh that you're in, your carnality, I should say. You have to look outside of that and look at it through a spiritual lens, to realize that the people who hurt you and the people who did you wrong and the people who betrayed you and gave you your first heartbreak and heartache, they were hurt too. The same thing happened to them. The similarities of whatever happened to you has been done to the person who inflicted the pain onto you. It is a chain event. It's like a tag you're it. I'm the person that's going to hurt you because I was hurt by somebody who hurt them, and then so forth and so on. So, this is what goes on this planet. And people, instead of healing it and going back to that moment and maybe forgiving the situation, I mean, yes, it hurts. We all know that. Nobody wants to be hurt. Nobody wants their emotions to be fucked up. Nobody wants that. But it is what it is, because we are on a hell planet Earth, a lesson planet Earth. You come here, you learn some shit, you grow, you evolve, you ascend, and you get the fuck on off of this when you die. Okay? The more you don't do that, the more you're going to have to keep repeating this shit. I'm not repeating the goddamn thing. Okay? I'm getting the fuck on. So I have decided to heal the aspect of my pain. I had to go back and realize that whatever was being done to me was being done to somebody else. And I had to look at it from the aspect of compassion. This is where love comes in, because when you have unconditional love, you don't love with conditions. You see people's flaws, you see their hurt, and you empathize and you sympathize and you have compassion for them, because we are all going through the same thing, different levels, different devils, different severities, but it's the same shit. It's called suffering, and we all are doing it. My suffering ain't no different than your suffering. We have our own differences and sufferings. We all take it differently. We all handle it differently. We all experience it differently, but we all here to motherfucking suffer. And so instead of continuing in your suffer, try to heal yourself. Heal. It takes a lot of work. It does. Because you got to go all the way back. And you got to uproot that. You got to deprogram yourself from being programmed of whatever it was that you've been doing all your life. You have to see it from a different perspective. This is why the spiritual journey is so powerful, but yet to some it's so complicated and challenging, because they don't want to do the work. So, of course, my bloodline is where it started from. My family, my blood relatives, because they're not family, but my blood relatives were evil. They're narcissists, they're demonic, they lustful, they have incubus and succubus, Jezebel hoe energies. They're jealous, envious, greedy. They had all the seven deadly sins. And I was inflicted in that. But I chose to break out of that generational curse. Now, it scarred me. But at the same time, because I'm a healer, I had to heal myself, because my first thing and my first thought when I was growing up was to help and heal other people. A lot of people didn't want no healing. They liked being in their dark side. They liked being in their lower vibrations and shit. They liked it. They've become accustomed to it, and that's all they know. And everybody knows the more something happens to you, the more prone you're going to be not only just attracting the shit, but you're going to be doing it too. So, and some people, after a while, if you keep doing the dark shit, you're gonna have a hardened heart. You're gonna just be a big ball of negative energy. And because I'm not a negative person, I always look at things as optimistic, or I'm more of a half full than a half empty type of thinking person. So, and I've been that way. I'm always trying to uplift. I'm always trying to speak life into people, because that's the type of person I am. I know I'm not of this world. I know I don't belong here. I know this. And I was put here for this very reason. Now, who like me, who don't, it doesn't matter anymore. I don't need anyone's validation to exist. Okay. I am one with the divine. Me and the divine got something going on. And so as long as I'm coming here and being obedient in my mission, because I have a mission, we all do, but I know what my mission is. And there's a lot of demonic entities that tried to keep me from fulfilling the mission. They wanted to keep me in low vibration and hurt, and so they can continue to hurt me and keep me bound to this hell planet. But no, motherfuckers, not me. Okay. So I don't deal with people. I'm always alone. I'm always by myself, and I'm okay with that. I don't need people talking to me. I'd rather people don't talk to me. Actually, when people do talk to me, it gets on my nerves. Like, why are you talking to me? So that's where I am in my life. So, anyways, what used to matter about me having human connection, I have, like I said, I have mastered the art of detachment. So I don't care to have relationship with people. You know what I'm saying? I deal with you in the present moment for however long you're meant to be in the present moment. After that, I don't really think about nobody else. And if I do, it's just a brief little second and poof, you're gone. You know, I'm moving on. I don't hold on to relationships. I don't hold on to friendships. I don't no longer care if anybody does anything. I don't care. I'm doing me, how I'm doing it. And that's just what that is. So when I had to start thinking about what I needed to heal, I had to go and uproot all of that shit, everything I was taught, the fact that people told me I wasn't gonna be nothing, people calling me all kind of hoes and just wanted to always sexualize me and put me in some type of, third party situation and want to make it seem like I'm just this sexual being and I just want everybody and all this weirdo ass shit, trying to put that incubus succubus shit on me. You know what I'm saying? I had to go through that healing, and then realizing that it stemmed from my blood relatives, and then it carried on outside of them, and it happened in all of my potential romantic relationships. I had to say, you know what? I'm not who they say I am. I am who I say I am. It doesn't matter what another motherfucker thinks. It doesn't matter how anybody else feels. I know that I'm not the way that people are projecting onto me. So as long as you are one of those people who don't let others dictate who you are, it's going to be easy for you to heal. You know what I'm saying? If you're one of those people who felt like you needed people's validations and you needed to feel worthy by others and all this other shit to feel alive, then you're going to forever be hurting and suffering and being attacked and having to have something to heal from. Until you learn that only you matter and that's it, and how you feel about yourself is the only thing that you should be concentrating on, and how you speak life over yourself. You are beautiful, you are great, you are grand, you deserve, whatever affirmations that is going to raise you up. That's all that matters. Be okay with letting people go, even if it's your family, even if it's your sister, your brother, your own child. If they bring you stress and distress, if they bring you chaos and conflict, if they are always being negative and not speaking goodness into your life, let the motherfuckers go. Take scissors, cut it. I don't give a damn what you do. Don't answer your phone. Don't be around them. Don't talk to them. Act like they are strangers. Because guess what? None of us belong to each other. We don't belong to each other. We don't even damn belong to ourselves. Okay? Let's keep it a buck. We don't even belong to us. We are here temporarily to do what the fuck needs to be done. And the time you spend here doing whatever it is you're doing, you're either going to ascend or you're going to stay in dissension. And I'm ascending. Okay? So I don't jump on people's bandwagons. I don't do none of that. I like being by myself. And it's so funny because I used back in the day when I was insecure and when I was looking for being around people and all that bullshit. If people didn't talk to me, or if nobody looked at me, or if nobody complimented me, I felt a certain kind of way. I would feel sad. And the next thing you know, I'm wondering if I'm ugly or if I'm attractive, and I, at the time, because of the trauma I went through, I did gain a lot of weight. The highest weight that I got up to 350 pounds. You know what I'm saying? So then that also made people attack me, calling me fat. I remember it was like people was chanting over my life. You're fat, you're fat, you're fat. And the next thing you know, I'm 350 fucking pounds. Okay. I'm not that anymore. So anyway, uh, I've lost over 100 pounds. About 200 at this point. But anywho, and so I cherish my body more. I take care of my body. I don't eat very much. I may not be as active as I would like as far as exercising, but I look good in my clothes and I know how to dress. So, hey, I feel good about me. Hair long down my back because I got locks in it. Because, I never understood why people had put locks in their hair, and I never wanted them at first until I found out it was more of a spiritual reason why people lock their hair. And so my hair is like in the middle of my back, which is the longest it's ever been in my whole entire life, even when I was a kid. And so God just showed me a lot of things that I was supposed to do to clear the karma and to let go of everything that was keeping me bound. And I'm free now, you know? And I'm good. This journey was the best thing I could have ever been doing. I'm like, why didn't I do this sooner? But I needed to do it exactly when I needed to do it, and so I don't regret nothing. I denounced Christianity, which I felt like that was one of the biggest things that kept me stuck, because I was always seeking and trying to find some truth and something to keep me up, feeling alive. And once I let that shit go, hell, life just took off. You know what I'm saying? Um, so I had to cut off, I had to rewrite wrongs, I had to forgive myself, I had to look at things from a different perspective, give compassion and give, empathy and sympathy to those who hurt me. Not saying I necessarily forgave a motherfucker, but I had to forgive me for allowing myself to be involved with people. And so, in the essence of me doing that, I guess you can say I forgave them. But, as far as fucking with people again, no, I don't want to deal with nobody from the past. If I let you go and I don't talk to you and you ain't been consistently in my life, being around me, interacting with me, you are somebody I used to know. So therefore, I don't have nothing to really be exchanging with you. So there have been times where people from the past would try to reach out to me. Please don't do it. You know what I'm saying? Because you're the past. We're only dealing with presents, and we're only dealing with future. And if you're in the past, you can never be one of those things because you're in the past. So I don't really deal with nobody from my childhood, or anybody that I used to talk to, or anybody who ghosted me, or anybody who left out of my life. You know, I like when God removes people out of my life, because it's so easy for me to just keep going. I don't have nobody pulling at my energy, and I don't have nobody, my circle is a very small, tiny little period dot O. You see what I'm saying? Just pretty much me, myself, and I. And I'm okay with that. I don't want no relationship. And if I do want a relationship, it can't just be with anybody. That person has to be on my same frequency, honey. I'm only dealing with same frequency people. People who are on vibrations that I'm on. And that's high vibrations. I'm not healing no motherfucking body. You heal your own motherfucking self. You take what I'm saying and you utilize it the best way you know how, and you go in your little cubby hole, your little cocoon, and you come out a butterfly. If not, you will be a caterpillar for the rest of your life, because I'm not finna help nobody do nothing. And so, anyways, I realized that my family was karmic and I needed to clear my karmic debt. Everybody that I came in contact, they were meant to come into my life and do what they did. That's why they did it. And now I know the real true reason. So anyway, I'm going to end it here. If you like it, subscribe, comment, and I'll talk to you soon. Peace out.